Welcome, UNL fans, to the February 2018 UNL Cycle Review. Joining me tonight is the IWL Commissioner, Juan Cena. How are you doing tonight, Juan?
I'm fantastic, as always.
Good. Thank you for being here, filling in for my usual co-host, Jake. We're going to put your face on a milk carton, Joyce.
Full disclosure, I had fucked up the last show. These guys got about 20 minutes in before I realized that the recording wasn't recording properly. So the recorder was not recording properly, and we got 20 minutes into the show, and it happens from time to time. You always get technical difficulties. It happens to me and Matt, probably more often than it should. But we're here now, and we're gonna do take two. And I'm gonna do my best to fill in.
Yes. Well, it is appreciated. I will say those 20 minutes were probably the greatest 20 minutes of unrecorded material of all time. So
I agree.
It's unfortunate that it is lost to time, and you'll just have to take my word for it that it was indeed spectacular.
The greatest thing on God's green earth.
Indeed. Well, I was just going to say, even though Juan Cena is not yet in the UNL, appreciate you joining tonight. Do you want to run through the champions for us?
Absolutely. So this is United Nations League, cycle number 10. League champion, Valen Aria. TV champion, Vexing Vladimir Verklempt. Brazilian champion, CC DeVille. China champion, Bandel Nadu. Great Britain champion, Jimmy Buckets. Indian champion, Fatty the Butcher. Iranian champion, Akbar. Japan champion, Quebec Hitman, MRP. Mexico champion, Hot Stuff, Adam Cash. Nigeria champion, 99.67% American Matt Y. That's been the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, it's Russian 99% and two-thirds. Go ahead.
Fucking A. I was going to make a paternity test joke there, but I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. Russian champion, Texas Hick, that piece of shit, Rick Rancher. United States champion, Jacob Vandenberg. I feel like Jacob is spelled wrong.
No, that's how it's spelled.
In what country?
You can spell whatever country he's from. He's from Sweden, I think.
I knew a girl named Crystal. Her name was Crystal, but she went by the name Crystal.
No, that's not okay.
It's fucking ridiculous.
We have to draw a line somewhere.
I'm pretty sure she's a stripper now.
Okay.
Tag team champions, Zach Gagon these nuts. Bandel Naidu. TV champion, CC DeVille and Akbar. Six-man champions, Vexing Vladimir Verklempt. Jasper Obanko. Is that how you say that?
You were close.
I
believe it's Obanko.
Obanko.
Yes.
Strongman Tobin Wells. TV six-man champions, Valen Aria. And the chosen one, Mac Trilla. And African's Deadliest, the man animal. So, Mr. Anderson, what's going down?
Well, several things strike out to me. Good to see CC DeVille back in action, back on the title page. Brazil champion and TV tag champion.
Yeah.
Akbar, a double champion as well. Fitting that he would be the champion of Iran, right?
Yeah.
A new manager, Jimmy Buckets. Not sure who manages Jimmy Buckets, but I appreciate him coming on board.
I once knew a drug dealer named Jimmy Duckets.
Oh.
In 1993. Okay.
All right, so a little tidbit about Juan Cena getting his drugs from.
I don't do drugs. First of all, it's up with hope and down with dope. Okay, number one.
It's not drugs.
I'm just saying, in my circle, you're gonna run into these people every once in a while. Be prepared.
Moving on. Blood money to regional titles.
I like the cover here. Yeah, Aaron McFleece with the the stock market ticker behind him.
Got the stock market. I know. I would say this is one of my more favorite covers.
Yes. Do you think Aaron McFleece puts a sweat sock in his trunks?
I would have to say no. I think Aaron McFleece is all natural.
Because I feel that you cut that off on purpose.
I did because I couldn't show what was underneath there. Aaron McFleece is a man's man. He is a man on the rise.
Yeah, literally. He's 3 inches from the floor.
Oh. Fair enough. So, Aaron McFleece, very happy to have him on board. Okay, so what else is going down? Oh, we had some new prizes. Did you want to, if you flip your bulletin to the very end?
All right, so we have some new prizes here in the UNL. Bonus scrub matches starting in cycle 12. Every third cycle thereafter, managers taking a match deal may take an additional 20 free scrub matches. These bonus matches may be used by either of the manager's wrestlers. So 40 for one, 20 for both. Just let the IWA know. And then UNL credit. If the UNL has at least 50 cards, the tag team champions will earn UNL credits, $1 for every 3 cards. The UNL will be the only IWA league to offer this type of credit until next cycle when someone rips it off. And if 2 managers win the titles together, they would split the credits. Refer a friend. If a new manager joins the UNL and tells the IWA they were referred by a current active UNL manager, they will both receive 5 free UNL matches. I should get all the credit because I refer people to the UNL all the time. So I'm just saying.
So, hey, well, if you become a currently active UNL manager, you could earn a bunch, 5 free UNL matches.
I can use those free matches, tell you that much.
Just saying, yeah.
In addition to those prizes already offered to the league champion, TV 6-man champions, and global tournament winners, if you have any questions, please email Mr. Scott Anderson at scottandersonunl@gmail.com. And thank you.
Fantastic. So what do you think? Are these new prizes are they gonna have any sort of...
They're definitely going to have an effect on getting more activity in your league. But I often caution commissioners about doing these type of prizes that you may encounter some people that I call undesirables that may enter your league. You may see these undesirables because they want these prizes. So just keep that in mind. There's always a risk factor.
Always
there.
A possibility.
That's the number one reason that I refuse to make the IWL a credit league. They've asked.
I would say, if I could counter, because I thought about this.
Yeah.
And it is a valid point. It's a valid point. I would say some of the best trash talk leagues in the IWA right now are credit leagues already.
Yeah.
The XPL and Iron, fantastic, well run, good trash talk, credit league. The BRL credit league, obviously one of the better trash talk leagues in the IWA. I think those are the only 2 I had. But they're 2 credit leagues with really, really strong trash talk. And I think the UNL has really good trash talk already.
I think it's fantastic.
I mean, I think it's right up there with just about anybody else. For me, it's just how do I increase the amount of activity while not sacrificing all of the amazing work that the current managers are putting forth.
It's always a balance. It's always a balance. So just keep that in mind. I think the prizes are fantastic. I've been thinking about prizes myself, and these are some prizes that I never even considered. So good job on your part.
Well, I did have some help. Good old Matt is a good sounding board for certain things. I know he and I discussed at least 2 of these 3, if not all 3. Appreciate his insight as always. I emailed the IWA after Matt and I had talked, and I said, here are 3 things I'd like to do, and I gave several options for each one. And I thought they'll approve one of my 3 things I want. And they emailed me back and they go, 1A looks good, 2B looks good, and you can refer a friend. And I go, holy crap, they just approved everything I was proposing.
So new commissioners, keep this in mind. If you're going to propose things for the IWA, give them options and have them pick. Because I think they'd rather pick an option than say flat out no. They're looking to say yes.
Right.
So give them options, especially.
Agreed.
Completely. We have a new commissioner in the BBL. We have a new commissioner in the Generation Next League, and just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I would say, and I'm still a fairly new commissioner, right? I wouldn't say I'm out of my rookie year by any stretch.
Have you gone through? Have you done 17 cycles yet?
The LNL is approaching 17 cycles with me at the helm. Almost. I mean, if you double up, if you count the fact that I've done like 15 cycles in the LNL and 10 cycles in the UNL, I don't know.
You get experience real fast.
If you get experience on both of those. But what I would add to that is you don't know unless you ask. And that's how I added the matches for the TV 6-man. That's how all these new prizes came about. I just asked. And if you don't ask, then they can't add them. And like Juan mentioned, they want to add credit. Or maybe not credit, but they want to add prizes, I should say. The IWA wants to add prizes to your league because they want to make money, which is fine. That's what they're there for, right? And we're there to have fun and pick holds and talk about how my numbers beat your numbers.
Yeah. So tell me about this loser bracket and the World Tag Team Title tournament.
Well, I believe we're calling it the consolation bracket now. My thanks to Brad for the consolation bracket, because I had called it the losers bracket, and that didn't seem very nice. So it's a double elimination, essentially, the tournament. So you pay $1 to get your wrestler in, and obviously since the UNL has a 2-wrestler cap, you would enter both wrestlers for $2. But those 2 wrestlers then get 2 matches each for their $1 or more, right? They're going to get at least 2. You could get up to like 5 or 6. So, and then in addition to those, the winners get UNL credit for winning the tournament. So since 16 wrestlers were entered, each winning manager will get $8 in credit, which could pay for all or at least part of a cycle. Never hurt. So more to your point, the consolation bracket are teams that have lost a match who are still in the running to come back. So we had our first round of the consolation bracket, and Rick Rancher and Tobin Wells are still alive, as well as the Russian Reaper and the Man Animal, who is maybe my favorite name to say. So congrats to those guys. The second round of the winners bracket will take place this cycle. 2 matches up there. So good luck to those 4 teams heading in to the finals of the winners bracket, but not the finals of the tournament. It's on page, what would that be, 4, 5, 6? I don't know. It's in there. It's in the bulletin.
In the bulletin. Check it out.
Check it out. Check out your UNL bulletin.
And then we have the Rumble coming up, and that's cycle 11? Cycle 12?
You have to sign. Yeah, you have to sign up by cycle 11, and it will take place in cycle 12.
Now, what kind of match is the Rumble, by the way?
It is a Royal Rumble type match. So I'm gonna write up guys entering, guys being thrown out.
Nice.
So it's gonna be massive. Shout out to Michael for his amazing, huge match write-ups that he's done in the past for, I believe, both the NWL and the IWL. Is that correct?
That is correct. He did a Rumble in the Bronx, which is
the
greatest match, and I think Jake should bring that match back, by the way. Jake, if you're listening, bring that match back to NWL. It's fantastic. And he also did Soul Survivor.
There you go. So those were the 2 I was trying to think of. And so kind of my homage to those 2 spectacular, ginormous write-ups is hopefully going to be an excellent write-up for this Royal Rumble match. So should be pretty spectacular. All it costs to get in, $50,000 in imaginary cash. The sign-up is this cycle. If you don't get in by this cycle, you're going to miss out on what is currently $1.2 million in iCash, which could obviously go up if more guys and gals enter this cycle.
This will be the biggest event in Bronze Federation history.
Whoa. I never thought of it that way.
It takes place in Nigeria, too, which is awesome.
Yeah, and Lagos, with that awesome picture in the background. Looking forward to that.
So we have matches ready for the Rumble. So we have the Rumble match itself. We have the Unified Nation title tournament between Ann Spivey and Bandel Naidu. The Can-Am title match, TVB, or HIV, whatever you want to call them, versus Tobin Wells. International title match, Philippe Rousseau taking on Jacob Vandenberg. And then a Continental title match. Is that a tournament final?
No, but I left it off. I could have put the current champion, Vexing Vladimir, on there, but he may not be the champion in cycle 12.
Oh, okay.
So the Continental title is defended every cycle.
So it's TBA.
So correct. It will make an appearance, but it is TBA. And there are a couple matches that will be revealed this cycle that will be on the show. Should I reveal some? I don't know. Should I reveal those now or should I wait?
Man, it's your world, man. I'm just living in it.
Well, I will say this. There will be a Naul versus Jacob Vandenberg match.
Oh. Double duty for Vandenberg and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Blood Money and Quebec Hitman feud will come to a head. They are going to square off.
Nice.
I'll reveal.
Hopefully there's a cool stipulation like coal miner's glove or strap match or
you never know. That
baseball bats.
The only
vibrator on a pole.
The only issue I have with doing a coal miner's glove match is you could never top the Sting Jake Roberts coal miner's glove match, and so to even attempt it would just be an injustice. I think
that's one thing we should bring back: spin the wheel, make the deal.
I honestly love spin the wheel, make the deal until we got the coal miner's glove match, and then I was soured on that idea.
That was the first one.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to defer to you on this, but I don't think it was.
Because they did White Castle. Next one was White Castle of Fear. No.
All right.
The next one, no. Next one, no, because they didn't do one in '91. They did it twice. They did it Sting and Roberts and Vader and Keck, and then they did White Castle of Fear, which I love. White Castle.
Who doesn't love White Castle?
Yeah, they did Chambers of Horror. They did Chambers of Horrors in '91. Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, 92. Okay. They did Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal in 93, and that was a Texas Death Match. And then Halloween Havoc, which is Hogan versus Flair.
And then they actually gimmicked the wheel, I hope, in 93, because...
They didn't gimmick it in 92.
They did?
No, they didn't.
That's what I was going to say. They couldn't have, because nobody would pick Cole. Who even put it on the wheel? You should fire him just for putting it on the wheel.
Bill Watts used to do... Like, he used to have good ones in the Mid-South.
Coal miner's glove. That's a travesty. Okay, there's also what I would consider a pretty big announcement from the UNL commissioner. Well, that's me. And the LNL commissioner. Well, that's me too. They're going to present Crossover Collision between the UNL versus LNL with a special appearance by the New Wave League competitors in the main event.
Oh.
So check that out. Some free matches for the winners of each of the head-to-head matches. And then the big prize in the triple threat cage match.
Now, is this going to be 3 cages stacked on top of each other?
Excellent question. No. I know. Maybe I'll go with that next year. You have to. You can't win unless you throw Luther Alexander off the top of the third cage.
Into a pool of piranhas, by the way.
Into a pool of piranhas. On top of the bear. So what will take place, and we're going to be careful not to allow this to be called the Kennel from Hell match. But the idea is everybody has to fight to get inside the Hell in the Cell, and only 10 guys get in, and then, or gals, and then those 10 are in between the Hell in the Cell and a traditional cage, and they're fighting to get inside the inner cage, and only 3 get inside the inner cage.
Mm.
And then once those 3 are inside, then they're going to compete in a triple threat match to determine the ultimate winner. But the prizes will go to the top 3. So if you can get inside that inner circle, you're going to get a portion of the credit. So that is not taking place until July, because that's how much of a nerd I am that I'm already planning the event in July. So that's how that goes.
Man, I
My
dig it. I dig it, man. I dig it.
That will be right around the same time that the UNL reaches 17 cycles. So my plan is not to have another pay-per-view around that time because I don't want to overdo the UNL pay-per-views. But what I will plan to do is have a special Tuesday night main event, and anybody who wants to settle anything on a special televised NBC Tuesday night's main event could maybe settle their summer score there. Because then in the fall, the plan is to have a pay-per-view highlighted by the global tournament winners. The year is coming into formation. That was actually my Halloween costume this year.
You're Macho Man?
I was Macho Man.
Do you have any pictures?
I do, but I would never ever share them.
Come on.
No, not in a million years.
Oh, you're the worst.
I look ridiculous. I'm about 250 of roundness.
That's okay.
I do not. I may dress like Macho Man, but I do not look like Macho Man.
Can we talk about Matt Wise's promo here for a second?
I should do. In the UNL?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead and find it. Intrigued.
His CT is not bad. I mean, is he trying to leave America? By the way.
Well, I think the idea is, if I'm reading it correctly, the idea is that Matt is in love with Carmen, who is Cuban, and so the tensions between America and Cuba have caused Matt to have some mixed feelings about his nationality. I think it could be very interesting. I'm intrigued, but then again, I'm not Cuban or Hispanic.
I'm confused personally because it's 99% that if Carmen was a person, she would probably have amnesty, so she'd be currently a United States citizen, and she couldn't be able. If she's in America, she probably most likely would not be able to get back into Cuba because they were exiled.
Well, luckily for her, the UNL travels all over the world.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe she went there with Luther. Who knows? Because Luther, I think, is summer residence in Havana. Which I always liked that gimmick because when Ted DiBiase did it, he would have like, my spring residence in such and such place.
I know. Even as a kid, I hated Ted DiBiase, right? Because he was a jerk. But I always kind of in the back of my mind go, that's pretty cool that his residence changes 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Nice touch.
All
right. So
you gonna tell me how cool the Blazer Corporation is? Because they look badass.
They are awesome, which is why I immediately hitched Valinaria's wagon to feuding with the Blazer Corporation because they are awesome. So yeah, Strongman, Tobin Wells, Jasper Obanko.
What country is Obanko from? What flag is that?
That's
is it Wakanda?
I feel like that came up. Is he from Cameroon? Am I reading that correctly? I feel bad. I feel like I should know this and I don't. I know it was in his trash talk. I'd have to go back and look it up.
He definitely looks West African though, which is good.
He looks like he could rip your head off. So that's the important part.
That's also a good point. And who are they going after? They're going after TVB and Valinaria, it looks like.
Yeah, well, Valen kind of disrespected them, so they've went back and forth. And what's really cool is that we did not discuss our TT at all this cycle.
Nice.
But his TT and Valinaria's TT fit together perfectly.
I love it when that happens, by the way.
I mean, it's like they could be one segment and fit together that well. So that was pretty incredible. I would also like to mention the tremendous work being done by Aaron McFleece with his time preparing for war. It was really, really well done.
I thought it was fantastic. But the funny thing about McFleece's TT, not only in the UNL, but in the IWL too, when I first opened up the PDF, it was formatted all jacked up. And then I had to I had to refresh
Oh.
it, and it came back to normal. So it was weird.
That
It had
is
like
weird.
it had symbols like a diamond, ace of spades, and all kinds of crazy shit on it. And then I had to hit refresh, and then
And then it came up normal?
Yeah.
That
So
is
I'm
odd.
wondering if that's my computer. So Tom, let me know if that's my computer doing that crazy shit.
Very well done.
Yeah.
And then Jacob Vandenberg, and selfishly maybe one of my favorite moments of the cycle, he breaks a wine cooler over Naul's head, which it did make me chuckle a little. This image of a wine cooler being broken over someone's head, it just cracked me up a little, I guess. You know, it's not a very tough drink to have broken over your head.
Well,
You know
I'll
what
tell
I
you
mean?
this much. I'll tell you this much about wine coolers. When I was a youngster, and I used to throw bottles behind the building to break them.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wine coolers were always the hardest ones to break.
Well, there you go. So now
I think it's because of the neck. Because
Gotcha.
they don't have really a neck, and yeah. So I spent my childhood mostly throwing bottles against the wall.
Okay. So you can appreciate
Yeah, absolutely.
how much that must have hurt and how angry Naul probably is.
What's the fucking wine cooler? They smell like shit. You ever get wine cooler in your hair?
I don't have much hair to get a wine cooler in, so.
I'm just saying, back in your heyday, you may have.
Oh, back in my heyday. No, I never really got wine coolers stuck in my hair. I was a pretty good light drinker in my younger days.
Aren't you drunk now?
I would say I'm a little tipsy,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say I'm drunk.
There's nothing
Tipsy's
like
a
getting
good word.
wine cooler all over your face.
No.
It gets real sticky real fast. It does.
Are we
I'll
still
tell
talking
you.
about wine coolers?
Yeah, it's fucking the peach
Okay.
one's the worst.
Okay.
Shit that never comes off. Kids don't drink.
Don't drink. It's
Don't
not
drink
good.
wine coolers. You know, if you want to drink a Zima, that's okay, I guess.
Drink responsibly.
I can't drink Zima. It gives me the shits and giggles.
You two things you do not want to pair together.
What, shitting and giggling?
Yeah.
You never had that sensation when you're sitting there on the toilet and it's just coming out like water, so it's like peeing out your ass, and it tickles, so you giggle?
Which probably only increases the amount of watery poop that's coming out of your.
I can't even say it's poop. I don't know what that is.
It is liquid fecal matter. So
It's like I don't see anything floating in there though. I think I have intestinal problems. I probably should get that checked out.
that was going to be my next recommendation. You may want to get that checked out.
Well, they said I had a leaky gut like 5 years ago, but I don't know what that means.
I love how they told you 5 years ago, and you're just like, yeah, we'll see how that works out. Valinaria's world tour continues.
Oh, yes. We pick up any new championships.
I'm gonna have to put the league title on there.
Oh.
And as much as winning the league title is always the best possible outcome, it does make me a little sad that Valen didn't capture all of these regionals before capturing the league title. That's all right. Now
So
I can lower
1,
my
2,
standards.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8th championship in 10 cycles?
Well, in 10 cycles, he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's not been on the title page one time.
Motherfucker, this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing okay. Yeah.
What's wrong with his face, though?
He lost a fight, it looks like. Maybe against Jasper. Jasper looks like he'd rip your head off, and maybe he just bruised up his face.
Looks like he lost his manhood. You gotta look in the eyes.
Yeah. But, I mean, he is the league champion, but he definitely looks in this picture like someone has stolen something from him.
Yeah.
Like he's a broken man.
Like his
Maybe he just lost.
anal virginity or something.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So,
He's
on
weird
the
to
flip
use.
side,
Anyway.
Naul. Again, this is only celebrating myself, but now Naul's trash talk starts with Gorilla Gale saying that Naul pins TXVXB, to which Joey Ventura says, "You don't say the X's, Gorilla." And that's a shout out. That's a shout out to my good friend Jake Joyce, that you don't say the X's.
I like the fact that he says, these fans are gone crazy. And here I thought you were going to say bananas. That got a pop from me big time.
I honestly, I mean, it's obviously a cheap knockoff of Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura, who to this day are my favorite announced color
See,
team.
I think we're in the minority because I think most people like Bobby and Jesse. I'm Bobby and Gorilla better, but I like Jesse and Gorilla.
Bobby and Bobby obviously is the man, right? Taking nothing away from Bobby Heenan.
Of course.
Bobby Heenan on his own has maybe got to be the best talker or top 5, right? Wrestler, manager, whoever, top 5 at least.
Agreed.
But you pair him with Gorilla, and they were funny together, but their dichotomy was different than Gorilla and Ventura. And what I loved about Gorilla and Ventura is that sometimes they agreed.
Right.
Even though Gorilla was supposed to be the good guy, right? And Ventura is supposed to be the bad guy. Sometimes Gorilla would be like, well, when it's for all the marbles, you got to do whatever it takes. And then sometimes Jesse would be like, yep, he definitely cheated there, but he got away with it, you know?
And you know what's funny? On Jesse's last pay-per-view was WrestleMania 6.
Okay.
And at the end of it, he kind of just came to the conclusion that I think they were turning him babyface. And that just never went anywhere.
Yeah.
I love Jesse Ventura. I wish he was still announcing to this day.
Yeah. I did then, and I still do.
Like, even him and Shivani was good. Him and Ross were not good at all, but him and Shivani were pretty good.
Him and Shivani were a pretty good team. I would agree.
Tori always used to claim that Shivani would beat his kids. All the time.
There are certain things that you can get away with saying in the 80s that you cannot get away with saying now.
I said I'd push the envelope a little bit.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible. You know, in certain pose downs, maybe.
Yeah.
But
by the way, Luther's going to auction off that G-string on eBay for $15,000.
There you go.
There you go.
I think the other part of Noah's trash talk that I like is that he talks about being disappointed, and the announcer goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disappoint you." And he goes, "No, I'm disappointed that it took me 6 months to beat all these other guys. I'd have to believe in you to be disappointed." But then he does call a spade. The real main event at the Rumble, to him, is the match for the UN Championship. That's what everybody should be gunning for, to be the UN champion. So,
do you know when Naul comes into the building, he doesn't say hello? He says, "Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?"
Oh, Bobby Heenan lives. Bobby had a million of them.
He did. And this guy's supposed to be Native American. How come he's not wearing a headdress and he's not drunk?
Well, because it's 2018, and they don't have to do that now.
Oh. Does he own a casino?
The avatar for this for Naul actually is Native American.
Oh, okay.
So he is a Native American. He literally has Native warrior tattooed on his arms.
Is he from the Lumpy tribe of North Carolina?
I'm not sure, but I know that's where Tatanka was from.
Yes. I wonder if they're brothers.
Maybe. It's possible. Rick Rancher seems to be sort of in between right now, licking his wounds still from World Warfare.
He's licking something, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He took a beating from Ann Spivey, and looks like maybe they might be heading for another showdown.
Now I'm someone that's big on visuals. Do you think Ann Spivey is like a Nicole Bass type figure?
It's certainly possible. I mean, she is a Spivey, and the Spiveys are pretty intimidating, large characters. She could be a taller, more powerful woman for sure.
That's what I smell. I smell Nicole Bass.
Definitely not anybody to mess with.
No.
Oh, the two masked men continue to attack the top UNL stars, as well as Adam Cash. This cycle, they attacked Val and Arya. So apropos that they would attack him the cycle that he wins the league title.
Now, do you think these men are masked because they want to hide their identities, or they're just ugly?
It could certainly be both. I think they're trying to hide their identity And also, even if I wanted to hide my identity, but I had a pretty face, I'd probably not. I would have the Robin mask, or
Of course, yeah.
the Zorro mask, so people could still see your strapping features.
Because
But these gentlemen don't seem to have strapping features.
Because that's why Jim Brunzell wore a mask, because that motherfucker was ugly as shit.
He was not winning any contests, that's for sure. Unless it was how many branches did you hit on the way down?
He looked like he had multiple failed plastic surgeries on his face.
Yeah. And his face didn't. I feel like I'm criticizing somebody's appearance here, which is not something that I typically.
He's barely even a person. He's Jim Brunzell.
But his face did not match his body. His body was normal. He looked like a normal wrestler, but his face did not match a normal.
I wonder if he had some kind of birth defect or maybe some sort of paralysis in his face.
I think paralysis is a possibility, which makes us even worse for talking about it.
He deserves it.
I'm sorry, Jim. If you're listening, Jim, I'm sorry. It's not a very nice thing to do, to talk about your facial appearance.
He had a hell of a drop kick, though. So
he did have a hell of a drop kick.
Yeah.
So that makes up for it. We'll compliment his
Plus, he was partners with Greg Gagne for like 20 years. I feel bad for him.
All right, so Vexing Vladimir is continuing his outlandish ways. Looks like he's beating up the owner of a gym this cycle. And Jacob is the voice of reason. But then he joins in. So I honestly think that these two are my low-key hopeful winners, the World Tag Tournament. I know I'm probably supposed to be pulling for my guys, but I really would like to see Vladimir and Jacob win the tag titles because they have developed an amazing tag team. So kudos to those gentlemen.
By the way, anyone who goes to the gym without bringing a gym towel is gross.
Also true.
PSA.
You are not lying.
Bring a towel. You can actually buy towels there, too, if you really want. I don't really suggest that.
I would recommend it.
Bring your own towel. So what is Adam Cash doing? My stable mates, my long lost tag team partner.
Well, he's got a lot of heavy talk for the Quebec Hitman. They've been going back and forth. So it seems like Adam Cash is really letting him have the what for, as well as Aaron McFleece, who he sneak attacked or sucker punched, more like, last cycle. So it looks like both of those feuds may be coming to a head, and we may find out a little more information about how that will occur at the Rumble next cycle.
Let's keep this in mind. Aaron isn't a star. There you go.
Correct. It is an awesome Key and Peele sketch, though.
It is. It's definitely their one of the top 5, if not number 1.
It's got to be right up there.
Yeah. So tell me about CC DeVille's song that he wrote.
Oh, yeah. CC back in action, singing us and serenading us with his amazing vocals.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And Akbar singing backup.
Right. He is the Greg Valentine of the rhythm and blues. Easy for me to say. But I think, okay, so we don't want to criticize anybody, but we did have quite a few odd pairings, right, as the UNL started. All these two odd couples. I think the most successful odd couple that's still working, that's over, is CC DeVille and Akbar. They are the winning oddball group. So kudos to Kyle for getting those two gentlemen to gel, but not only that, but to make them enjoyable.
Yes. We have a brief message from Ann Spivey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving Rick Rancher the what for.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. And Spivey, part of the famous Spivey family, but it sounded like maybe there was some kind of issue there last cycle. So maybe we'll learn more about that.
I'm pretty sure Old Man Spivey's dead.
I mean, Norman Spivey is in control right now in the
That's
IWL.
what I'm saying. Where's Old Man Spivey?
So he is MIA. I guess he could finally ride off into the sunset after he beat up the Monroes yet again.
Yep.
That was good for him.
Unbelievable. We have
So,
some TT here from the Quebec Hitman, MRP. What does MRP stand for?
I believe that is the initials of the manager behind the Quebec Hitman.
Oh.
So yeah, he has done an excellent job.
So
no, correct. So he has quietly put together quite a good half a year. If I flip back quickly to the past 9 cycles, I think I would not be surprised to find that over the last half year. Oh no, wait, he had one cycle at the beginning, but over the last 3 cycles, Quebec Hitman is number 6.
Oh.
So he is definitely one of the top consistent performers, and also one of the top tag team and 6-man wrestlers. So he does, I believe, talk about here, he did get kind of a raw deal with the tag team titles where he missed out on the world tag, even though he had perfect point flow with a 516, because the champions retained with a 516. So they didn't have perfect point flow, but 516 went to a draw. So he did collect the IWA US tag titles.
Nice.
With that perfect point flow. Yeah, so congrats to him once again. Amazing work. Definitely smart of Naul to hitch his ride to the Quebec Hitman in both the tag tournament and the 6-man division of the UNL. Okay, so we already talked about Matt Y and Carmen. And then we get back to the UNL prizes. Yeah. So I guess that's the trash talk. As I mentioned on the website, on the Facebook group, www.facebook.com/groups/United Nations League, all one word. The trash talk this past cycle, I was floored. I thought and I know it sounds gushy, but real talk, I just think it was really, really good from top to bottom. So thank you to all the amazing managers that have chosen the UNL to ply their craft, so to speak.
Yeah, man. Fantastic league, fantastic trash talk, as always. I look forward for all the events, and the new prizes are phenomenal.
New prizes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add about the United Nations League before we wrap up?
No, I think it is probably the best up-and-coming league as of right now. Again, you're going to have some stiff competition in the not-so-distant future, but I think you did a fantastic job with it, and I look forward to coming in one day.
That would be great. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah, bronze is quickly filling with a plentiful amount of leagues. So we're just going to keep doing what we do, and hopefully people enjoy it, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So for my awesome co-host tonight, Juan Cena, I am Scott Anderson.